What if I told you 5,000 pounds of potatoes can grow from one plot without costly machines or chemicals? Most assume it takes hard labor, but the Amish use simple methods. Today, you'll learn 10 low-cost techniques behind their harvests. The right variety selection. Most people plant whatever is available and wonder why yields disappoint. The Amish approach potato varieties with intention. Not all potatoes are equal in storage, yield, or durability. Communities in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana rely on proven varieties like Russet Burbank, Caribou Russet, and German Butterball. These produce high yields and store well through winter. Russets, in particular, create dense, starchy tubers that resist rot. Some growers also include Kennebec and Yukon Gold for variety. For large harvests, focus mainly on Russet Burbank or Caribou Russet. These reliably produce large, long-lasting potatoes. You can add small portions of Yukon Gold or German Butterball for diversity. Deep soil preparation foundation. Soil quality is where large harvests truly begin. The Amish invest heavily in building rich soil before planting. Potatoes originally grew in nutrient-rich mountain soils. Amish farmers replicated this using compost and manure instead of chemicals. Historical records show farms composting manure for years before applying it, creating soil that retained water, drained well, and stayed nutrient-rich. To prepare properly, mix 4 to 6 inches of compost into the soil and work it down 8 to 10 inches. Then add another layer on top as mulch. This process takes effort early but improves results every season. Strategic spacing. Many gardeners plant potatoes too close together. The Amish focus on spacing to balance plant health and total yield. When overcrowded, plants compete for nutrients and produce smaller tubers. Proper spacing allows each plant to grow fully while maximizing overall production. Traditional Amish planting keeps about 9 inches between seed potatoes, with rows spaced 30 inches apart. This setup prevents overcrowding and allows easy movement for maintenance. For best results, follow the same spacing, 9 inches between plants and 30 inches between rows. This creates a balanced system that supports large harvests. Layering and mulching. Number 4, the layering method. This is the Amish technique that revolutionizes potato growing in small spaces. Instead of planting deep, you plant shallow and build upward. This changes everything about your yield potential. The Amish potato tower method isn't new. It's been used by various farming cultures for centuries, but Amish communities refined it into a reproducible system that dramatically increased yields. Instead of digging a deep trench and planting potatoes 12 inches deep, the Amish plant at the surface, then layer compost and mulch upward as the plant grows. Traditional practice involved laying potatoes on prepared soil, covering with 2 inches of soil, waiting for emergence, then adding mulch layers progressively through the season. Communities in Holmes County documented this method, producing over 100 pounds from a 4 by 8 foot bed. The mechanics work because potato plants develop tubers all along the buried stem. More buried stem equals more potatoes. Modern research validates this spectacularly. Universities studying the method confirmed that layered systems produce tubers at multiple levels, fundamentally increasing yield density compared to conventional planting. Here's exactly how to layer correctly. Start with your prepared soil base. Place seed potatoes 9 inches apart. Cover with just 2 inches of soil. When shoots emerge and reach 6 inches tall, add 4 inches of compost or mulch. When foliage grows another 6 inches, add more mulch. Continue until the bed reaches 18 inches of total height. Plants develop tubers throughout this buried stem height. Traditional digging got stuck because people assumed potatoes meant holes. Think of it as growing vertically instead of horizontally. Same footprint, triple the harvest. Water management. Number 5, water management. This seems simple, but Inconsistent watering ruins more potato crops than any other factor. The Amish approach watering with precision because they understood that inconsistent moisture creates malformed tubers and reduced yields. Potatoes originated in regions with consistent, moderate rainfall. They need steady moisture but not waterlogging. The Amish developed understanding through observation that potato plants under water stress produce fewer, smaller tubers. Those under excess water develop rot and disease. Finding the middle path was essential. Traditional Amish farms in areas without irrigation relied on timing their planting to coincide with seasonal rainfall patterns. In regions where they did irrigate, they emphasized slow, deep watering that penetrated the entire root zone rather than frequent, shallow watering. Historical records from Pennsylvania farming communities show that farms managing moisture carefully produced consistent yields of 3 to 5 pounds per plant. Research confirms that consistent soil moisture throughout the growing season increases both tuber size and total weight. Studies show that water stress during tuber development reduces yields by 30 to 40%. Excess water increases disease pressure dramatically. Here's your water protocol. Water deeply once weekly, providing 1 to 2 inches of moisture per week through rainfall or irrigation. The soil should feel consistently moist at the 6-inch depth, but never waterlogged. Check moisture by digging a small hole. The soil should hold together when squeezed but not drip water. During hot spells, watering twice weekly prevents stress. Irregular watering got common because it seemed flexible. Think of it like a baby. Consistent feeding and care produces health. Inconsistent care creates problems. Potatoes need that reliability. The root cellar storage method. Number 6. The storage method that's been keeping potatoes fresh for centuries. This is where the Amish secret really shines, because harvesting 5,000 pounds means nothing if half of it rots by winter. The method is simple, costs almost nothing, and works reliably. Potatoes stored properly last 4 to 6 months at cool temperatures. The Amish root cellar isn't mystical. It's practical architecture designed to maintain consistent temperature and humidity. These structures, common on Amish farms and documented since the 1800s, maintain temperatures between 35 and 45 degrees with humidity around 90%. Under these conditions, potatoes enter dormancy and barely deteriorate. The traditional method involved layering potatoes in wooden crates with hay, straw, or leaves between layers. The Amish understood that potatoes respire, requiring air circulation, so they never sealed them. They stored them in darkness because light triggers greening and solanine production that makes potatoes bitter and mildly toxic. Many Amish cellars still use this layering system today. Research confirms this method works. Studies show potatoes stored at 38 to 40 degrees with adequate air circulation maintain quality for 6 months with minimal loss. Commercial storage facilities use the same principles Amish farmers implemented centuries ago. Here's how to replicate this. Find a cool, dark space basement, garage, or dedicated shed. Store potatoes in open crates or bags with air circulation. Ideal temperature is 35 to 45 degrees. Humidity should stay high, around 85%. Never wash potatoes before storage. Check periodically for sprouting or decay. Separate any problem tubers immediately. Fancy refrigeration got popular because it seemed more scientific. Think of it like how humans survived for thousands of years without electricity. The simple method still works perfectly. Organic disease prevention. Number 7. Disease prevention the Amish way. This is critical because losing 1,000 potatoes to late blight or rot wipes out your harvest and ruins your 5,000-pound goal. The Amish approach prevents disease rather than treating it after infection. Potato diseases, particularly late blight, Phytophthora infestans, devastated potato crops historically and caused famines. The Amish approach disease management through what modern agriculture calls preventive medicine. Instead of waiting for disease then spraying, they create conditions where disease can't establish in the first place. This means proper spacing for air circulation, consistent watering to avoid leaf wetness that invites fungal infection, and removing infected plants immediately. Historical records from Amish communities show that farms maintaining meticulous sanitation rarely lost crops to disease. Neighbors without these practices regularly lost significant portions. Modern organic agriculture validates this completely. Research shows that cultural practices spacing, watering at soil level, not foliage, removing diseased material immediately prevent 90% of common potato diseases better than any spray. Here's your prevention protocol. Never water foliage, always water soil. Maintain consistent spacing for airflow. Scout plants weekly for any signs of disease spots, wilting, discoloration. Remove affected plants immediately and dispose away from the garden. Clean tools between plants if disease is present. In late blight-prone regions, plant later to avoid peak infection periods or choose resistant varieties like Elba. Chemical prevention got popular because it seemed scientific and easy. Think of it like health-preventing disease beats, treating it every single time. The no-dig harvest method. Number 8. Harvesting without digging. This single method changes potato growing from back-breaking labor to manageable work. The Amish discovered that layered potatoes, grown in mulch rather than deep soil, sit close enough to the surface that you can literally pull them out by hand. Traditional potato harvesting meant digging with forks, searching through soil for hidden tubers, and invariably missing some that rot in the ground. The Amish mulch-based growing method positions potatoes differently. Because tubers develop throughout the layered growing medium rather than at depth, they sit accessible near the surface. When harvest time arrives, you simply pull back the mulch layer. Potatoes are right there, barely covered, ready to harvest. This method, documented in Amish farming techniques and now validated by modern no-dig gardeners, transforms the labor equation entirely. You can harvest a bed in a fraction of the time required for traditional digging. Historical records from Holmes County show that this method reduced harvest time so significantly that Amish families harvested their entire potato crop in a single long day with minimal physical strain. Modern growers using the same system report harvesting 40 to 60 pounds per hour with hand collection and no mechanical equipment. Research on no-dig growing systems confirms that potatoes grown in surface mulch remain accessible and are harvestable through simple pulling or careful raking of mulch. Here's your harvest approach. When foliage dies back naturally in late summer, stop by your bed with simple hand tools and containers. Pull back the mulch layer. Potatoes literally sit there. Collect them carefully. It's genuinely that simple. 5,000 pounds harvested in one intensive day by a family working together. Digging got normalized because it was the only option for generations. Think of it like discovering elevators when everyone thought stairs were mandatory. The method changes everything. Potato selection and storage. Number 9. Saving seed potatoes for next year. If you're harvesting 5,000 pounds, you need sufficient seed to replant the following season. The Amish approach this methodically because quality seed means quality harvests. Seed potatoes are simply small, disease-free potatoes saved from your harvest, specifically for replanting. Size matters. The Amish save potatoes roughly the size of an egg or tennis ball, large enough to contain adequate stored energy, but not so large that you waste resources. Historical seed-saving practices in Amish communities show consistent attention to selecting from healthy plants and storing seeds separate from eating potatoes. The Amish never mix seed supply with harvest. They stored seed in cooler conditions with slightly lower humidity than eating potatoes, and they kept them separate to prevent inadvertent confusion or contamination. Traditional storage temperatures for seed were closer to 45 degrees, while eating potatoes were stored at 38 degrees. Modern research confirms that seed quality directly determines next year's yield. Studies show that high-quality seed produces 20 to 30% higher yields than low-quality seed. Disease-free seed prevents introduction of pathogens into your bed. Here's your seed protocol. As you harvest, set aside 200 to 500 potatoes from the healthiest, most productive plants. These become your seed stock. Store seed at 45 degrees in darkness with adequate air circulation. Check monthly for sprouting and remove any showing disease. In spring, when soil is workable, plant your saved seed for next year's harvest. Buying fresh seed every year got popular because it seemed easier. Think of it like perpetually buying new plants instead of saving seeds. One approach builds self-sufficiency. The other creates dependency. Community harvest days. This is how the Amish actually harvest 5,000 pounds in one single day. It's not magic. It's organized labor based on relationships and shared purpose. Potatoes are a community crop in Amish culture. Unlike gardening work that individuals do alone, potato harvest is a gathering event. A family might organize their entire harvest day and invite extended family, neighbors, and church community. In historical records from Ohio Amish communities, harvest days were documented as social events that also happened to accomplish significant work. 20 to 30 people working together could harvest an entire season's potato crop in 8 to 10 hours. This culture of collective work isn't unique to the Amish. Throughout agricultural history, communities organized harvest days because large crops required coordinated effort. What the Amish did distinctly was formalize this as expected cultural practice rather than exceptional circumstance. Research on labor efficiency shows that organized teams harvesting potatoes with clear systems and assigned roles dramatically increase output. Studies document that work teams harvesting known quantities on known areas develop rhythm and efficiency that solo workers never achieve. Here's how to organize your harvest. Identify your harvest date when potatoes are truly mature and ready. Invite family and friends who would enjoy participation. Assign roles. Some harvest and collect, some sort and bag, some handle transportation, provide food and water. Create assembly line efficiency. A 20-person team working organized can easily harvest 5,000 pounds from prepared beds in a single day. Solo harvesting got normal because it seemed more independent. Think of it as the difference between moving a house alone versus with friends. The community approach accomplishes what seems impossible individually. These 10 methods represent the accumulated wisdom of Amish communities who have been harvesting abundant potatoes for generations. From choosing the right varieties that store well, to preparing soil so rich that plants thrive, to organizing harvest in community teams, each element builds on the others. None require expensive equipment. None require chemicals. What they require is understanding that potatoes respond to intention and consistency. If this opened your eyes about what's genuinely possible on your property, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment and tell me which method you're most excited to try. Are you Team Deep Soil Preparation who wants to build foundation first? Team Layering who loves the no-dig approach? Or Team Community Harvest who understands that abundance is shared? I read every comment and I love hearing about your actual harvests. If you found value in these potato methods and you're not subscribed to Homestead Roots yet, this is your moment. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we post new videos every week about growing food at scale, preserving your harvest, and building real food security. We're building a community of people who understand that self-sufficiency isn't a solo project. It's a values-aligned way of living. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now, go grow those 5,000 pounds.